Hi, I'm Matthew and this is Caves. This week I was mostly working on performance. I'd noticed the game slowing down whenever a mine exploded. This is a profiler and it records how long the game spends doing different things. So I've recorded a profile from playing the game earlier in the week. It shows me here that the game, you can see here at the top, that almost 100% of the time is spent on this thread, and then I can look at the different things the thread did and see how they contribute to the total time. So here, the update gameplay code uses 64% of the total time, roughly. And if I drill down further, I can see that this function here called, well actually let's go to this one here, called physicsparticle.update, is contributing about 52% of the overall CPU use of the entire game. Now what physicsparticle.update does is when you're playing the game, it makes those little yellow sparks fly off and bounce around. That's all it does. So those little yellow sparks are actually, or at least in the version of the game I tested, they were the most CPU expensive thing in the whole game. So that was good to know because it meant when I started doing my performance optimizations, I could focus on fixing something that actually mattered, the particles, and I didn't waste my time, for example, trying to improve the code that moves shots, which you can see here uses 0.32% of the total time. If I'd made that code faster, you wouldn't even notice a difference. But I spent a lot of energy making the particles faster, and it has made the game run a lot more smoothly. I'll show you an example of the kind of thing I did. When debug mode is on now, you'll see some of these particles turn red. And they turn red when they're sleeping. That's basically where the game has detected that that particle isn't going to move anymore unless the ground underneath it gets destroyed. So these sleeping particles, I can stop having to update them and do collision checks because I know they're not going to move. You'll see here with these gold particles, although a lot of them are on the water where they can't sleep at the moment, the ones that are resting on the ground have turned red. So they're sleeping, they're not doing anything, they don't need to use up any CPU time. To push the game to its limits on my desktop computer, which is relatively fast, I put in a cheat that lets me make it run as quickly as it can. And you can see here that the frame rate is a nice healthy 700 frames per second. It will slow down when I start digging, and it will slow down when something dramatic happens like a mine exploding. But overall, the frame rate seems to be pretty good now. That's all for this week. I will see you next time.